What's up, guys? Welcome to the reverse schedule this week for Garage 419. Joining me on the program, Noah, my boy Noah Lehmann-Haupt of Gotham Dream Cars. And today we're talking about January sales numbers not looking good, Chris Bangle resigning from BMW, and what to do with your leftover depleted Big Three stocks. I'm Matt Farah, and you are watching Garage 419. All right, Noah, let's get right into business here. January sales numbers are in for the U.S. and they are shart, as you would say. They're awful. Everyone's down.
Oh, yeah, it's bad.
So the big losers, Chrysler brand, by brand, not company. Chrysler's down 69%, Saturn and Hummer down 59%. Yeesh.
Yeesh.
But everyone's down. We've got Toyota and Honda and Audi all down over 25% as well. What are we going to do in this country?
Buy more stuff on credit. Oh wait, sorry, that doesn't work anymore. Yeah, I know it's rough. No, it's a bad situation out there. It's a bad environment.
Not that either of us are economists down here, but I mean, what happens if the car industry just collapses on itself? I mean, is there going to be a point, you think, where the government really is going to step in and save everyone?
Look, I mean, it's a tough situation because essentially you have to allow the market to do its own thing to some extent, right? Yeah. Yes, all the car manufacturers are down, but the reason that GM and Ford and Chrysler are down a lot is because people aren't buying their cars as much. They're just not.
Yeah.
If they made better cars, the people would buy them. That's one problem, right? So you've got the whole situation of people aren't psyched about the cars enough to buy them. So what's going to ultimately happen? Big picture, let's say they fail, you get the outside manufacturers come in, VW comes in, you know, Honda comes in, they buy them, and they start building cars that people actually want to buy. Now, that would suck. It's going to mean a lot of job losses. It's going to mean a lot of pain for the U.S. auto industry. But ultimately, if they can't get their acts together, that's what's going to happen.
You know, what's interesting is to use the term cars people actually want to buy, because all three of the big three in their bailout hearings said that we're going to focus on building cars that customers actually wanted to buy. And what they were referring to, I think, was small, compact, fuel-efficient cars. But if you look at the top 10 cars sold in the U.S., 6 of them are actually mid-sized sedans.
Right.
So I think the problem is not that they don't have a small fuel-efficient car. It's that their mid-sized cars and their sedans are as boring and bland as can be.
And it's, you know, there's a branding issue. You're totally right. I mean, look at it. Would you rather buy a Volkswagen CC or would you rather get a Malibu? I mean, it's like, you know, like I know that the new Malibu is great and everyone got good reviews, but you know, an Infiniti G35 or a Malibu, you know,
when the problem is if it's the best it's ever been and it's still not that good, you've got kind of a problem.
I think their bigger problem is a branding issue, right? It's a, you know, Buick, you know, nobody wants a Buick, you know.
My grandpa's all about it.
Right.
So we got to move on. Let's talk about people who own stocks in these companies.
Right.
Obviously, their stocks are into nothing. Chrysler is a private company, but Cerberus Capital, and then we've got GM and Ford stocks, both not doing too good. Now, there's a company in New York City called Cooper Classics. It's a classic car dealership. Elliot Kuker is the guy who runs it. He's been selling cars since the 70s. Now, they are willing to take your big three stocks on trade for one of their classic collector cars.
Right.
And they're actually willing to give you the June 30th, 2008, so a pre-crash value for these stocks. Would you give up your stocks for a collector car?
I think it's a good move on the part of Cooper Classics, honestly. I think it's a very good move.
I mean, how are you going to get credit for a Jaguar XKE right now?
I mean, credit is the fundamental problem, right? Yeah. Which is that, you know, no one can get financed on it. And a lot of people are sitting and holding these stocks, so they're figuring, you know, look, Cooper is obviously making a bet. They're saying that they feel that that we're not going to allow, you know, those companies to go bankrupt, which would mean make the stock worthless, and B, that they think the stock is cheaper than it's ever been. So they would rather take, you know, depleted stock value, and I know the June prices were still fairly depleted, and they think that they're going to go up. So they think they're going to get more out of that money by taking those stock and than they would get in cash.
I mean, it's a pretty risky bet given the fact that Ford, Chrysler, and GM are all down, you know, 40, 50, 60% for this month alone. But, I mean, with collector car values, I mean, we've seen Barrett-Jackson happen recently. Those values are down as well.
Correct.
Even for the big tier, you know, cars. Cougar Classics does more 60s and 70s, like Jag XKEs and Mercedes SLs and old stuff like that. But let's talk about late 80s, early 90s to mid 90s exotics for a minute.
Right.
Ouch.
Right. Mid-90s, current exotics, ouch.
Yeah.
Everything, the whole market has just taken a nosedive.
Yeah.
Total
Although
nosedive.
Lamborghini in 2008 had a record year.
Well, they had a record, I'm sure they did well in 2008.
Yeah.
You can go to any Lamborghini dealership right now and ask them how they're doing, and I'll tell you that they're not having such a record year.
Yeah, but well then why is Lamborghini corporate saying they've sold more cars than ever before?
Well, I think Lamborghini
building more.
They're building more. It's part of the problem, which is that there's so many. Gallardo Spiders are worth so little right now, so little on the market compared to what they were because Lamborghini corporate built a lot of them. Also, I'd be curious to know what the breakdown as far as geographic distribution is. I think they probably
Dubai.
They're selling a lot more cars internationally. I know for a fact, just from walking into a Lamborghini dealership in the U.S., that they are not doing well right now.
Yeah.
They are not moving cars. People are not coming and buying Lamborghinis.
My local dealerships, I live in an area with all the exotic car dealerships, and they're all sitting on inventory. There are Scuderias sitting in showrooms. There's LP640s sitting in showrooms. Bentley GTs, they're overflowing with Bentley GTs.
Unbelievably. I mean, you can get a Bentley GT Coupe right now in 04 and 05 for $60,000.
Yeah, Ferrari 360s, 60 grand. How about early 2000s Porsche 911 Turbo?
Right.
That is my pick for the exotic car bargain of the month is the 996 Porsche Turbo for 30 to 40 grand. That's absolutely my pick.
It's unbelievable. I mean, that's a 400 horsepower turbocharged car. You can put a little bit of work in, probably $10,000–$15,000 worth of work, and have a supercar.
600 horsepower monster.
It's a great deal.
Yeah, it's a depressing day here on Garage 14. When we talk about what's going on, what are you gonna do? When we come back, we've got good news and bad news from the same story. Chris Bangle is out, and we're talking about that when we come back. See you then. We're back with Noah Lehmann-Haupt of Gotham Dream Cars. I love your vehicles, by the way.
Thank
Had a real good time with your Merce in Florida.
I believe they love you too.
Yeah, they do. They do. So, bit of good news, bit of bad news wrapped up into one story. BMW design guru Chris Bangle is out like disco. And not only has he left BMW, he has left the automotive business. See, what do we think about this? Were you into Chris Bangle designs?
Negative.
Negative? I kind of liked them.
I think you are wrong and stupid.
A lot of people out there think that too.
I think that they look. I am a guy who is into the flashy crap. I mean, I'll admit it. Like I think the Reventon is. Yes,
you're into the flashy. Crap.
No, but seriously, like I think. I will always admit that I like the 430 more than the 360. I think that the current modern looking designs. I love the the Gallardo. I think it looks much better than the Jelpa.
Yeah, but how does that relate to a flame surface Z4?
So what I'm saying is that I think the new modern stuff, I usually like it. I think that Bangle sort of represents the new modern stuff of BMW, and I think it's terrible. I think they're bad design choices.
Well, what would you say to the fact that BMW's sales have never been better? Given his design.
That I am an idiot and I'm wrong. But nonetheless, I still think from a purely aesthetic standpoint. I mean, look, BMW makes awesome cars. I still love them. I'm not so hot on the iDrive thing. I think there are ways that they can make it better. But their cars mechanically are fantastic.
As a driver's car, there's not a whole lot of better options out there.
M3, bang for the buck. There is probably no other car that I think beats it.
The new M3 not designed by Bangle. We've got
and I like the design. So there you go.
The 7 Series, you have the 5 Series, the X's,
right,
and the Z4 are the staple Bangle designs. And I liked the Z4 coupes. I didn't like the convertible, but the coupes did it for me. I don't know why.
I think that is the worst of the worst.
So you know what?
Leave our facility.
It was the roundel on the side that had the integrated blinker in it.
Well, that's cool.
I like that.
But that also doesn't look like a bunch of cockroaches running around, which is what the Z4s look like.
So that brings us to our question of the day here on Garage 14. He is obviously not going to stop designing things, and he says he's going to go focus on his own projects. So what do we want to see him design? Obviously, cars are done. So I'd like to see a Bangle vacuum cleaner.
Well, that could be interesting.
More specifically, a Bangle floor waxer at the grocery store. That would be sweet, with a nice Bangle butt on top. Oh, it'd be hot.
I would like to see a Bangle baby furniture because
childproof.
Right? There are no sharp edges.
No
right?
square edges. Flame surfacing on the crib is exactly what
I think it would be funny to see a Bangle airport metal detector scanner.
All right.
Because you'd walk and you'd look at it and you wouldn't know whether it was going to chop your head off.
Yeah,
or...
I don't know if I know how to operate a Bangle skid. Like, do you walk through? You have to do a maze kind of around it.
It would be a disaster.
It would be interesting. I want to know what you guys think though. What would be your choice for strange and interesting Chris Bangle designs in products or whatever you can think of. Let me know. Leave a comment below. Hit me up on Facebook. Tell me what you think. I'm around. Noah, thanks. Can I have a car? Can I drive something?
You can have that old one over there, that white.
Oh, nice. That's like a '64 Ford Falcon.
That's Rob's grandfather's car. It's yours.
All right. Can I have a good car?
No.
Damn. I'll see you guys next time.